Happy Chainsaw Man Day! It is that time again for more Chainsaw Man live reaction reviews. I am the Breakmaster, and we're here today to do chapter 169, nice, of Chainsaw Man. So, honestly, I don't know what we're about to do. It's kind of hard to predict where Chainsaw Man is going to be going, but we're going to be doing something today. So I hope that this is at least a banger chapter. I'm hoping that's what the case is. I'm hoping this chapter is going to give us some meat on the bone and be able to progress the story at a faster rate so people in, the community can stop complaining so much about Chainsaw Man not really progressing the story. So, at least let's hope we can get some actual meat on the bone. So you already know what it is. Yeah, we're live. Kara, welcome in. Anna. Welcome in. It's funny number, yes. Also, that's a welcome in. I am ready. Hope you guys are all ready for Chainsaw Man. So obviously, get the goddamn Shonen Jump app so you can go ahead and download it. You can read it for free over there. There is no money involved. That's what I'm doing. I've got the official translations right in front of my face, and I'm going to be reading it to you guys. So let us just go ahead and get this thing going, all right? Let's get the live reaction happen. Chainsaw Man since chapter 1. Sucker, what are you doing? Read the chat. What are you... Stuff is heating up. Okay, good. We're at a sushi bar, so it's kind of weird that things are heating up when, no one's really actually cooking. But, they're making stuff, they're creating, they're crafting. It was allowed for a while. It has been a minute. I forgot you were here last time, though. I feel like you were here last time towards the end, but you were here, okay? Regardless, hey, I would say, well, you missed some stuff. There are some things that happened, but just stay tuned. Just stay tuned, okay? Yeah, something's cooking. All right, let's get into it. Irasai, welcome to sushi, folks. Okay, all right, this guy, this guy's excited. All right, like if you walked into a restaurant and you got greeted by this guy, it sets the tone for the rest of the meal. I'm just saying, just right off the bat. All right. I'm gonna need 10-second recap of everything that happened until now. Man, the best recap I can give you is that freaking Nayuta's gone. She's missing in action. A lot of existential crisis is going on inside Denji's mind, and there was some handy situations happening between Denji and Asa. The relationship evolved into a very white justice of nature, if you know what I mean. So that's the white sauce, exactly. That's all you need to know. All right. Chapter 169, hands and adaptions. See, I was already making that joke. What was it? Hands and adaptions. What we doing? What we doing with our hands? I mean, I know they're making sushi with it, but what are you talking about? Sus. This way, come on in. Like, seriously, this guy's way too freaking excited. And we got a smorgasbord of sushi. Denji is looking behind himself as he's sitting down with these chairs look super realistic, actually. I didn't realize how realistic chair is in comparison to the characters. Like, it's a little jarring now that I'm looking at it. Like the chairs, I don't know if you can see this, like the chairs look very real while the character's kind of sitting in them. Like, they're there, but it's like, it doesn't really fit them, if you know what I mean. Also, welcome in, Ace, welcome in. Yeah, don't forget Katana is back and somehow became one of the best characters in the series, which is true. Yeah, Katana Man's back too, and he's a hoot. He's a hoot. It's the best way I can explain it. All right. Looks okay to me. Look, open up the app. You'll see what I'm talking about. All right. Can you go over? Can. Right. What's happening? Just go to the next page, please. All right, guys. All right. Medium fatty tuna. It's a tuna festival. Okay. Deluxe fatty tuna. You got kids running around. People still. I mean, again, they live in this society where they can die at any moment, so they gotta find happiness anywhere. And I guess they're happy right now eating sushi. And, they got like dates going on and all this. People kind of just, chilling, eating sushi. They're all chowing down. And he's like shocked by this. Is there something wrong with the app? Why can't I freaking, what is happening? God dang. All right. There we go. Like things just acting stupid. Like, go over. All right. Might have been trace over 3D. I think so. That's what I'm thinking too. Something was going on. All right. I'm just saying. Have they all shut their Huh? Denji, what? That, bro. Okay, let me finish this. Let me finish reading this, okay? Because I expect them to say this. Have they all shot their load by somebody else's hand before? Like, why would that be the thought that comes to your mind? Like, oh, wow, they're so happy. They must have masturbated not that long ago. Like, well, excuse me? Dinky. God, his perspective is so warped. You know? I keep telling you, he doesn't live a normal life. His perspective is extremely warped, and he needs help. This sucker needs help, because, like, what? Okay, all right, God dang. No one knows that literally 2 embodiments of the apocalypse just walked in, which is true. No one knows, but they all having a good time regardless, okay? I mean, that's neither here nor there, though. If you want to answer to that question, it's neither here nor there. You know, we don't know. You want to go ask them? God. Cheetah, so much awful crap has happened that I want to die. Oh, dang, okay. But now the sushi's flowing before my eyes, and I just got climaxed by somebody else for the first time. I can't. I mean, look, he's been through something. All right, I was going through something. So Kieran, like I was talking about again. See, look, he, he's been through a lot. Physically, it wasn't as good as when I jack it, but it did make my heart feel really nice. What? I didn't know I was going to be reading dialogue like this today, all right? Look, I was not expecting all this. Getting introspective, things about to go. This introspective is, I wish he had a different thought, okay? All right. He's sitting there. What happened to the counter? I mean, I guess he's in his own space right now, so it's kind of like reflective of that he's kind of like zoning out everything else around him, so it makes sense. Anna, why would you even ask that question? What kind of question? Okay. Am I happy or unhappy right now? I mean, he's going through it right now. Freaking also looking to the side like, sucker, what you thinking about over there? like, seriously, why is she looking like that? Giving that side eye look, like, sucker, huh? And freaking Fammy just ready. She just eating. She don't care what's going on. Okay, Fammy, you trying to talk? Okay, whatever. Fammy, do you mind if I wait outside? There's nothing I can eat, so I mean, look, you can eat the rice. The rice is okay. Good. Hi. Okay, she. What? I don't know what the he said. She eating food and talking at the same time, and she's spitting it up. All right. She was the last person to ask. I was like, what? So kind of unsettling. What, smiling where? What are you talking about? I was here smiling. She got food in her mouth, bro. Koku and the Nail Fiend are stuck watching the hideout. Is it really okay for us to enjoy a meal this nice without them? Interesting. I mean, that's really why you even thinking about it like that? Like, what, the Nail Fiend, he ain't even worry about no goddamn freaking sushi. Like, what are we talking about here? Yeah, I might have a brain damage. There's Fairy got something going on. It's all about the food. It's all about the food, okay? Higashiyama, are you going to eat any actual sushi? No, I don't know if they're getting the bill. So, I mean, that's also a good question. Who is paying for this? Who got money for this sushi? I mean, so is Katana Man doing this? Who's got the money for this? I don't know if they got money like that. So, I mean, how much is this sushi in the first place? This is open sushi night, so I'm assuming it ain't that expensive, but still, all right, it's a good question. When the chapters get so short, they be going fast, Karen. Look, they be going fast. She's smiling on the top panel. I don't see a smile on her face. She got food in her mouth the entire time. It doesn't look like a smile to me, all right? They've been short for a while now, though, like for real. I don't know if we're getting those. Let me see. You're weird. Not as weird as Mitaka. I mean, you ain't wrong about that. She's a weird girl. She's very weird, okay? She lost an arm, but she seems the same as always. If I lost an arm, I think I'd cry for about a week. I mean, she's built different though. So like I said, you out here freaking crying. Why you be crying for a week? So I gotta you better get your butt up and start, trying to get things fixed. So I'm sitting here and start crying. You don't got cry. I don't got time for to cry. You see how the world is? Like, easy does it. It's the same as animals. Animals don't get sad when they lose a limb. They simply adapt to it for survival's sake. Why is this guy here? Why is Barham here? Oh yeah. Devils aren't supposed to feel sadness either, are they? Mr. Barham! Huh? Who's that? Why the heck is he here? Look, it's about to go down. It's about to go down. So maybe you might see some other suckers come back. Look, here we go. Yeah, things are about to heat up, all right? Crime runs in his family, which is true. I mean, you ain't wrong, though, because, Kubini over there freaking crying every goddamn second. Man, she's probably crying right now. Let's be real here. Who's that? Idiot, he's the Chainsaw Man Church second in command. Uh-oh. Ah, yes, exactly. Get him, Denji. Get him. I'll take you to Nayuta. What? Oh, so what, you gotta change your heart all of a sudden? You can't undo the crap that you have done thus far, sir. You are a bad man that deserves bad things to happen to them. Yep, I said what I said, okay? Barham can go eat some goddamn crap for all I care. All right, that tissue paper that Denji was eating, he need to eat that. All right. You got more game than me? I mean, he got something going on. I don't know about game, but he got something going on here. I mean, is Denji gonna stop or are you actually gonna still do it? Ah, so keep quiet and park it next to me. Here you go. Look, see, Denji is mad, and I'm okay. I understand why. Look, this guy's trash. I don't know if I can trust him. Why is he here? Let's see. Take some soy sauce, chopsticks too. Also, where's Nayuta? He's thinking. Public safety's out front. They have the building surrounded. What? When we head outside after our sushi, we'll both be dismembered. Excuse me? Okay. I was already saying that public safety has to be doing something at some point, right? I didn't know they're gonna be pulling up like this. But I knew, it's probably Baron's fault. Was he not actually fighting against these guys? I'm just saying, maybe he brought all these suckers here. That's why he's here in the first place. And he's trying to use Denji and gang to get out of the situation. That's what's going on here. So he's still kind of trash. I don't trust this man. All right. You ever seen you going for a kill that quickly, man? Doesn't joke around for a no, 100%. 100%. That's family right there, man. That's family. There's 3 hybridds in the building and 2 horses. Exactly. Like, this place is about to get demolished. Like, all these people are all happy right now. You know what I'm saying? They all having introspective of people freaking, oh, did they freaking ejaculate today? That's why they're all happy eating. Now, it doesn't matter now. God, they're all about to die. I'll say, if you save us, I'll let you see Nayuta. Man, see, that's exactly. He's using them. Save you? What do I need to do? First, eat this egg sushi. Is that really the end of the chapter? Man. I didn't. Okay, this is short. I mean, Kieran, you ain't wrong. This is incredibly short. How long have I been streaming? Like 8 minutes? Like, that was a... Okay. It's only weird. There's not much to talk about. This is a massively transitional chapter. We didn't like the information we got was good, but it's like we didn't really do much in the process of like getting to that information though. You know, it just Baron came in, public safety is right there out in the back, ready to go. If he's telling the truth, like if they're like truly surrounded like that. I mean, who is it from public safety that's actually out there? That's the question here. That's the thing. Like, are we actually gonna see Yoshida again? Like, is Yoshida back out there? Are we gonna see that one other chick, Fumiko? Huh? Because like she was running the rank, she was running away, she was kind of trash. So like, how much can we really, I don't know. All right, I don't know about that. Like Fumiko ain't gonna be able to do anything anyways. She's kind of trash with the whole situation. So I don't know. Like this is interesting to say the least. Probably lying through his teeth. You don't even know if public safety's actually out. That's what I'm saying, Death, though. Because like he could just be straight up lying right now. Is the thing. it's hard to trust this particular individual given how trash this man has been thus far in the goddamn manga. So I don't know if I can completely trust him like that. But at the same time, again, he was going against them at one point in time, and I guess he got away. Maybe they've been following him this whole time, and he brought them there. I can see that being the case. Actually, let me go back in the chapter real quick, and let me look through the pages real fast. So I see they have the stuff like Death by Sushi, but I don't see nobody out there on this panel. So they plus these out front, and they have the building surrounded, but it's like I see nobody there. Like, that's why I'm like, I wonder if he's actually just not if he's not telling the truth. But then, what is he trying to accomplish here by even if he is lying though? That's the thing. Like, what else is he even doing then if that's the case? So it's like, that's the question I have here. If he is lying. Reintroduction is all about this chapter. Yeah, pretty much that's though. Once again, trying to will Kisha. I'm hoping. So if he's not lying, that would be nice to see Kishibe out there and be like, all right, how you doing? Long time no see, Denji. But you gotta get under arrest. We gotta put you in house arrest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to just maybe see the introduction again between that and having Kishibe there. Granted, do we even want to see Kishibe happen right here at this time? Because, like, if Kishibe is there, the likelihood of them actually escaping that situation is very low. It's very low, all right? I don't know if they can get out of that situation like that. First thought is he drugged the egg. It's going to make Denji go on a rant. You know what? True. Yeah. So he's like, oh, eat this egg real quick. And then he goes on a rampage. He's like, I got Chainsaw Man back out. Let's go. You know, that's kind of the whole plan and purpose with a lot of this when it comes to Barham anyways. He wants Chainsaw Man to be out here. So that makes a lot of sense, actually. God dang it. So, like, he could straight up be lying through his teeth and is just trying to get him to transform again by any means necessary. And maybe this time he'll be much harder to even get out of the transformation at that point, is what could be going on here. This is why, again, I can't trust the guy. Now, will Denji actually eat that? I don't know. But at the same time, this is also Denji too. Like, how much can a drug even do to him, given that he's eaten... I mean, he has consumed things that most people in general shouldn't consume. So he might have some high tolerance to, like, even a drug potentially. You never know. So I don't know how much it would even actually do for Denji and his stomach for that point. You know what I mean? But Denji does eat, and that's what I'm saying. Denji does eat anything. Like, there is no limit to what he does and doesn't eat. So you're probably gonna have to jump in to fight him. Which, funny enough, Yoru's like, yeah, it's fine. I can actually fight Chainsaw Man for once. Same thing with Katana Man, if that's the case. But that situation just sounds freaking horrible. But then it's like the whole cause of it all. It's like, where are we going? Like, if this is this is what we're doing, where are we going with this entire thing here? Because honestly, how would Barham know where Nayuta is anyways? Like, the more I'm thinking about it, it's like, he wasn't around where she was at one point, so how would he even know unless he found her again somewhere? So I don't even think he would even know. So, like, yeah, this whole thing, he must be capping this entire time. The more I'm thinking about it, he's straight up 100% capping. Like, there's no way. This whole situation is not looking too good. So at least the next chapter I'm assuming next week. Hold up, let me check. Is it next week? Is it coming out next week? Is it gonna? Oh, it's not gonna tell me. Oh, you're not gonna tell me. Is the app being stupid? Can I? Oh no, okay, it's coming next week. Okay, there's another chapter next week. I was looking for it. All right. Okay, so I can safely say next week's chapter should be a good one. All right, with maybe more action and just like more meat on the bone here, because I will say that this chapter was quite short. I don't know. I wish there was more to this chapter. I have to admit, I'm not saying I'm like disappointed, but I am just slightly let down by the amount of content that we got here, which wasn't much of anything. All right, yeah, we got one for another week. Thank God. Katana versus Baron would be an interesting fight. Sword versus Flamethrower. Yeah, I don't know how interesting that would be. Granted, it depends on how good Baron even is when it comes to his fighting skills. You know, I don't even know if that's even. I doubt they would even fight each other if that's the case. Because like I said, they've been wanting to fight Chainsaw Man for this whole time. So if Chainsaw Man does appear, I don't see. Excuse me, I don't see Baron fighting against either of them. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. You're probably gonna jump and fight. I mean, they could. I mean, it depends on how much they actually care about Denji, I guess. I mean, I don't even know how much they could do. Actually, Asa's been trying to get out of there, so I don't even know if she's even going to be around in this particular situation. She says she needs to leave because she can't even eat anything anyways, right? So there's a chance that she might even just exit out of the building, maybe find out that Barum is all cap, and then maybe walk back in and be like, no, listen, this guy here. Like, the situation might not even escalate to anything, possibly. There's a chance. There's a chance. More hybrid for. I mean, I want to see some more action too, but I feel like we still gotta wait. Unfortunately, this chapter, I will say, does not help Fujimoto's case with the fan base. That how they keep saying that he doesn't really like progress the story at all much. Like it takes too much time to get to the next part. I'm just glad there's not a break next week, but at the same time, I wish there was more here that we could have done. There's more he could have done to the story here, to this chapter, but I don't know. All I know is this is not the worst chapter, but like I said, there's not really much to talk about. It's throwing me off. Speaking of Nayuta, I will say this much. I mean, I'm hoping she's okay. Because I have no idea, like, her situation at this point at hand. But I'm hoping that she isn't, like, skewed into some other kind of being. You know what I mean? Because, like given everything that was going on and how she had to fight humans, I could see her just having a whole different perspective in life. For all we know, Nayuta could be even at the goddamn sushi bar. Who knows? She could be there. And we don't even know. There's a lot of suckers in here. Next thing in this chapter is them talking about Asa. She's also like she's a devil and showing how much she is being which is true. Talking about the whole instinctive survivor thing, which is I guess is true in some cases. Granted, I mean, but Asa's always been weird, and I don't think they really understand her personality, anyways. Right? Like, how much do these suckers even know about Asa? You know, like, they've only been around her for a short period of time. So for them to even have like this kind of thought to make her think, oh, she's got that survivor instinct, this and that, it's kind of hard to like have that perspective when you don't even know who this person really is like that. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't really around Asa like that for them to even know her personality for real. So, I mean, though they're cooking with what they're saying, but at the same time, I don't think these are the characters that would be the ones would say something like that. You know what I mean? Because they don't really understand who she even is. So, I mean, she was part of the freaking church. She was the head of the whole church thing. She was a face. You know what I'm saying? So that alone could tell you just like she was not in the right space in to begin with how you can kind of view her as a character. So like I said, that makes sense of what they're saying, but at the same time, now I'm thinking about, I don't know how much that makes sense on their part, given that they shouldn't know much about her, is the thing here. So I mean, it's interesting, but again, Asa is changing. She changed because Yoru's inside her goddamn body, and that's why like her arm popping off is like not even a problem. And yeah, they know that she's also, you know, freaking devil. That's why she can just do what she's doing here. And have freaked out losing an arm. Yoru definitely affecting her. Well, I mean, true. Granted, I mean, given the fight that was happening, those adrenaline rush that was happening with Asa and Yoshida at that time, so maybe she didn't even have time to freak out like that, though. That is also kind of the thing here too, because she's also more battle tested in that sense. So I mean, things have to change in that perspective, I guess. And I guess that makes some sense if they've seen her around school, how she like freaked out by stepping on the goddamn chicken at that time. You know, when you know this whole part 2 started in the first place, she was more timid and just more afraid back then. So if they're going from that perspective, I can kind of see maybe why they would say that. But at the same time, again, there's been a lot going on. And I mean a lot going on, all right? I mean, that's also true. That is also interesting. So, I mean, again, that is an interesting, like, thought that they did have. But I just wish maybe somebody else could have had that kind of thought process here. I want to start watching your Kagurabachi live streams. When do you live stream it? Lloyd, welcome in, and good question. I stream it, so I don't know exactly what time it is for you, but I will say in about 4 hours from now, I will be on twitch.tv/Thabreakmaster, and me and Anna will be actually doing a live stream for Kagurabachi then. So for 4 hours from now, for whatever time you're at, 4 hours from now, we will be live on Twitch. So if you want to jump in, that'll be the perfect time to do so. All right? Yeah. Thank you, Waze. Thank you. But no, overall, I think I'll give this chapter this week for Chainsaw Man. I'm not even going to be super nice this time. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. A 6.5 out of 10. There was a progression that did happen, but there's not too much meat on the bone for this chapter this week. And I need to start trying to make sure I am giving proper ratings for chapters, especially like this, because this is definitely just a transitional chapter going into what's about to go down pretty much hopefully for next chapter. Because every time I say something's about to go down, nothing goes down. So I'm hoping something does, but I'm not as excited, especially considering that I was thinking there was gonna be more to the whole Asa Denji situation than what we got. So like I said, I'll hold off. That's why I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I don't want to give it too high of a rating because hopefully maybe we'll get some other stuff later on. But what would y'all rate this chapter this week? I'm very curious when it comes to how y'all thought about it, all right? And Kagurabachi, by the way, hey, let's go, baby. Let's go. We're, 38 chapters in for right now for Kagurabachi, so let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Barrel coming back is big, but it didn't need a whole chapter. I agree. It didn't. Again, Bear's a problem, but at the same time, it's like we could have easily just had more to this chapter than what we got, because there's a lot of just empty spaces. And I'll be honest. Look, let me look at this. Let me go to the chapter real quick. Let me see something. Right, like we have this introduction to this guy, right? To the sushi guy. Come on in, yeah. I mean, that's all cool and all, but do we really need that? Then we have this next panel of just we see all the sushi and we see Len Denji looking around. Did we even really need a full-on panel that really showcases a bunch of sushi here? Like, you know what I mean? Unless the background becomes an important thing for later on, there's no reason necessarily to show this much of a spread when we could have had extra paneling within this one page here. You know what I mean? We could have done a little bit more. And then the next part is just a bunch of people eating, and that's when he has like the whole introspective of what he's talking about. Because, you know, it's funny what he's saying, but like how much of this even is gonna matter when it comes to what we're trying to do here for his character, right? So like dialogue is dialogue from Denji. This is what he is, and we kind of get the thought process of what he's going through. So we kind of know that he is, like I said, he's kind of not necessarily traumatized by it, but he has a weird perspective on things. So that's what we get out of that. I understand that, but it's not like we needed this much. We're already 4 pages in, and we haven't done much. You know what I mean? And then we kind of harp on this entire thing, and then move over, and we just see Asa sitting there. So it's like if you look at it in comparison to like a Kagurabachi, for instance, Kagurabachi would give you way more with less of that time that's happening. Now, Fujimoto, as we know how he is when it comes to crafting a particular scene or story, he likes to take his time, and it's very movie-esque. So he likes to build the scene. So there's nothing wrong necessarily with doing that, but it does slow down the pacing of what you're doing. Now, if he was, again, a manga creator that was always on a weekly basis, this wouldn't feel so bad. But he's the type of guy that be taking breaks here and there a lot of the times, actually. And it's always bi-weekly in some cases. So it only makes what he's doing affect us more. Now, he's not taking a break this coming week, thank God, but you know what I mean? So like it's just like if you look at the paneling of what he's doing, there's definitely more he could have done. And it's not like he's also putting in extra like artwork, like his art was like popping off. Like actually there's a lot less of his art actually popping off within this chapter, if I'm being honest with you. Again, going based off of the other manga I'm reading, which is Kagurabachi. Kagurabachi has a point to make though, which is why I know he's really putting his all into this. But at the same time, if you look at the paneling and what they're doing there, even with One Piece, there's a lot more depth to what was actually happening, and more meat on the bone with with every chapter happening. So I just feel like Chainsaw Man is taking too much time and is lacking in that, which is why I feel like it's becoming a problem pacing wise. So that's all I'm trying to say. It's like, I'm not hating on Chainsaw Man, 'cause I am still enjoying it, but I can't deny the fact that there's people that have dropped this manga because of how the pacing is, and I can't really complain on that or tell them that they're wrong simply because it's honestly true at this point, and he's not doing anything to get better with it. This is part of the other reason why Chainsaw Man's popularity is dropping. It's not as popular as it once was, and it's unfortunate because it is a good manga, but he needs to reevaluate how he's gonna structure it going forward if he wants this to still be something that everybody's interested in. But Fujimoto's tired? Maybe. That could be the case. He could just not, he could potentially just not want to keep drawing in this. I could see that being the case. There are mangakas that are out there that are doing a story that they don't even particularly... Spy X Family being the perfect example. That sucker apparently does not like his own manga, but he sucker's doing it anyways. That's why like there's no progression usually, because like he doesn't really care about the characters like that. But he's doing it because I mean he's making money, so why stop? And maybe Fujimoto is in that zone of like maybe he's kind of tired of doing this. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say. Let's write and not draw. You know what's funny about that, though? Why not just do that? I don't understand why these mangakas do this to themselves. What is it? Bakugan? The one, Bakuman, that's called Bakuman. That show gives you a highlight of like how a manga is created, right? They could have just simply, if he doesn't want to draw no more, get an editor that can just draw your stuff. I mean, greatest example of this is freaking One Punch Man. One Punch Man has One Punch Man 1, and he draws his own thing, looks like trash, but he has a manga of his own that he is drawing because he wants to draw. He just know he can't draw that good. He ain't on that same level as Murata, the guy that he has drawing One Punch Man. And One Punch Man, that's like a Eden, bro. But his story is still intact. Like, he should just write the story, have somebody else draw it. There's nothing wrong with doing that. If he doesn't want to draw no more, just simply write the story out and let somebody else actually draw and panel it up and everything. Like, why not do that? It's the same thing I keep saying when it comes to Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter keeps going on these breaks all the goddamn time, but I know Togashi's a stubborn old man and does not want anybody else to draw his stuff because he thinks no one else can do what he's doing. It is not that hard, but I digress. I'm just saying that he's also somebody that needs a freaking editor or somebody that's just drawing his stuff up and he can just write the story. So his story is at least still intact. Like, why can't these mangakas understand that's what they can do? It's not like they don't have the position and power to potentially do something like that, especially if the story is feeding families. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Like, I don't understand why we don't do that. All right? So, my rant is done. Sorry. Here, come back. Let me see. Family being goofy was pretty fun, though. I mean, family's always goofy, though. So, I mean, that's just family at this point. What are you saying that is needed? I mean, it is, but like I said, they could have had that said, but panel it differently where there's still more happening outside of this 2 panels of him saying, dang, are they jerking off? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's more that he could do panel-wise to fill up a page. Because what he's doing right now is spacing so much stuff out. Like, if they were to make this into an anime, right, I would say about 5... No, the whole volume could be like almost one or maybe one episode by itself. With how little we're getting, you can make the whole 4 freaking chapters we got into one episode. That's how slow it is. That's a problem. Good. You know, kind of like chapter this week. Exactly, Diego. That's why I'm complaining right now. Thank you, Lloyd. I'm glad you agree. Listen to Chris Fujimoto using blank backgrounds lately. I noticed that too, Desto. See, now my thing is, we always got on Tite Kubo. He's the Bleach creator, the one that makes Bleach. We always got on Tite Kubo about him having no background in his art and everything like that. But he has actually a really good reason why he doesn't draw backgrounds all the time. Not that he can't do it, but he does this simply because he wants to be able to focus on the character and what their expressions are. He's very big on character expressions, to be able to kind of tell you a story through what the characters are looking, how they're feeling. You know what I mean? So he puts in a lot of effort when it comes to his characterization and character designs. More so than always putting stuff in the background, especially considering that he basically said in an interview that the reason why he doesn't do this is to focus on that and to make sure that the focus isn't in the background. You can have a background, but like the background isn't the focus. So why have a background? You want them to focus on the character at the time. So it makes sense why he does the way he does. I mean, funny enough, I feel like Kagurabachi does the same thing where they have moments where the background's not there so they can focus on Chihiro and what he's doing. But that's what you're supposed to do. With Fujimoto here, like I said, his art hasn't like progressed or anything. It's not bad art, but it's not like he's giving us like a bombastic panel where you can put it as a background or something like that. Anno right now has a background of one of the characters in Kagurabachi because that moment was freaking great. Freaking Hakuri looking amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, like, for what his art is, it's weird that he's taking steps to like lose background. Now he does draw background and he does them quite well, like within this chapter. With the Shushi conveyor line, like he didn't necessarily have to make that background, but he did. But you know what I mean? Like I feel like he's not placing his priorities right when he's also trying to panel this actually, and that's a weird complaint to actually have. But at the same time, I feel like it's a valid complaint to actually say. You know, as I've read a lot of manga, and you can kind of come up with these kind of like these thoughts here that we're seeing. So I don't know. It is interesting. Man, pacing his back. Yeah, exactly. He said he wants to. I'm gonna see. He's tired. To be honest, bro, I realized that since the anime did poorly in his home country, he has been losing interest in the Really, really. See, that's so weird. I mean, I keep hearing people say that it did poorly, and it's like, I mean, for what they were expecting. So I feel like people. This is the reason why it got so many like endings. Like, it had an ending for every episode, right? I think they were expecting this to be the next big thing, right? And I feel like it still could be that, technically speaking. It's just they have to make sure they pace this correctly. I feel like, I mean, to me, the anime did a really good job of this series. And like I said, it felt more like a movie than it was like an anime because of how he was like pacing this and directing it in a way, right? I feel like they realized his vision pretty well in the anime. I will say that, but not everybody's gonna understand that connection of what he was trying to do. We all know Fujimoto is a big movie buff, right? He loves movies, so it makes sense that his show would kind of reflect that same type of thing where we have like setup. There's a lot of moments where things are kind of on the still side to set up the scene, to build the moment, so when it happens, it's supposed to hit you. You know what I mean? So he kind of does that, but maybe that is also a fault to him though, because animes don't typically do that. Like this anime, as weird as it is, it doesn't do a lot of the anime type tropes that we were seeing in other animes, right? If you really like dissect how the anime was actually done, it's quite different than from a lot of animes, and I think that could actually hinder why it wasn't really working like it needed to, because people aren't understanding like that perspective of what this anime was trying to convey is a thing here. So that could be what's going on here. But I'll also definitely welcome in though. Welcome in. Early part 2 was so peaked. The moment Japanese audiences started hating on the anime, I realized that the quality of the manga dropped. That's very interesting. I kind of want to go back now and like see the timeline for it to see what you're talking about, Lloyd, because I feel like you might be right though. That could be what's going on here. The backgrounds in Bleach works though because there's a lot of fights. And we're also in the sky too. Well, not always. Like, I mean, they do fight in the sky a lot because I mean they can fly around and everything. But at the same time, there are a lot of moments. Like, actually, perfect example, the Asnot fight with Rukia. They were not flying around at all. But if you look into the manga, there are moments where there's just no background at all. And he wanted to focus on Rukia in her transformation and everything. So there's moments where there's just nothing there. But I mean, it works for what we're trying to do, you know? I think this is why it's taking so long for the anime to continue. They're reevaluating what they want it to be, which is true. I can see that being the case. Because, like, it was supposed to be like the next big anime, which is why they put so much stock into this. And when it didn't perform as well as they wanted it to, not that it didn't perform well, because it didn't do bad. Like, people say that it just did poor. It didn't do poorly. It did okay. But that's not good, because they're expecting this to be like the next Attack on Titan, where things like a global phenomenon. Like, people undermine Attack on Titan all the time, and I always bring this back up because I mean, Attack on Titan is my favorite series, but there's a reason why that is. Like, Attack on Titan was the GOAT when it first came out. All right, everybody named Mama knew about Attack on Titan, and I mean like actual mamas, like that they don't watch anime like that, started knowing what Attack on Titan is, because that's how big and popular the show became, and it was a worldwide phenomenon. There's very few animes that hit that kind of like stride. Demon Slayer almost like kind of being the same way, where that thing hit another stride, which is why more people are actually knowing about this now. It's hard to really say that same thing going into Jujutsu Kaisen, because I think anime at this point in time is in a comfortable space where everybody watches anime now. Like, back in the time where Attack on Titan came in, anime was still kind of a niche. It was gaining more traction at that time, but it was not as big as it is now. So people had to also remember, the perspective on that time frame that was going on there. And I think maybe they're expecting Chainsaw Man to kind of hit that same level where it was supposed to be a global phenomenon. Like, it's supposed to hit these other numbers and be out there on a global perspective. But unfortunately, it just did not do that. And there's reasons why, outside of just like what they decided to do. I don't even think the story from the first half, like the first portion of it, like, I like Chainsaw Man, but I'll be honest with you, and I think I told y'all this before, Chainsaw Man did not get me initially in its first couple of chapters. It took me a minute, actually. It took me, because I was binge reading it, so I think I would say around chapter, I think the Rize arc is when it kind of got interesting for me, now I'm thinking about it. I like the dynamic that was happening with Rize and Denji, and I think that's when I started to actually start really feeling the series a bit more. But I did not like Denji. I didn't like any of the characters like that, because all of them were kind of weird for me, and I only liked Himiko at the time. Looking back, I don't know why I did, because she's a goddamn predator, but that's besides the point. But there's very few characters I could even latch on in the series to even like at that time, because I didn't like anybody there. So it took me a minute to even like enjoy the series, if I'm being honest with you. And that's why I'm like, honestly, this first 12 episodes, I already knew it was going to be a hard sell for people to really get into Chainsaw Man. If that's what they're expecting, they should have done 2 cores, if I'm being honest with you. But at the same time, the Rize arc needs a movie, because it doesn't need another season. So they were in just a weird spot to begin with, honestly, to try to animate this and for it to pop off like it should have. But I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. That's just my opinion on it. I feel like they were in a tight spot, and I don't think Chainsaw Man was going to hit the levels that they were expecting it, which I never thought it was going to do anyways, honestly. The American Church arc was all over the place. I agree. Anime ended, that was around the time the Bowling Devil arc. Oh, kind of hell since. Oh, true. Oh, the Falling Devil. Yeah, I mean, see, there was potential there, right, with that Falling Devil arc, because I was kind of thinking that we probably were going to go into the full Death Devil situation, but we got too hyped up, and then we got the Falling Devil, which was not a bad arc. Like, none of it was bad. But also, you gotta remember, too, people just wasn't really feeling Asa Mitaka as a main character taking over for Denji. People just were not liking that. So it already had stuff going against it when part 2 even started. So just based off of that alone, people were having problems with it. I liked Asa Mitaka, and I liked the Yuko arc between those two. That was nice. I liked that connection and what they were doing with that. I do feel like it has gone down in quality a little bit. I will say that though. Just a manager. Let me see. The manager said that they thought it would be the next JJK. See, that's what I'm saying. They shouldn't have expected that, especially considering how the first part is. There was just no way it was gonna do that. Jujutsu Kaisen. And you know what's funny about this? See, we're just talking about pacing, so we're in a different conversation. It's still it's still Chainsaw Man. We're not even talking about the chapter anymore, but we're still talking Chainsaw Man. But think about it like this. So if that's what they're expecting on JJK's like level, they should have rushed this a bit more. If that was the case, if I'm being honest, they should have rushed it more. The pacing for Chainsaw Man is completely different than what JJK is. JJK's pacing is super quick. Okay, like the way the story it evolves, they get to a very high level very quickly. So because of this, it becomes more interesting because you get more battles simply because of just how fast the pacing is just by itself. You know what I mean? The main character has a pretty simple setup for himself. He just wants people to have a happy end. I guess a happy life. Like he wants them to die properly. Basically, that's his whole situation, right? So that's how we kind of got introduction to them, and then to the other characters that are there. They didn't really get if you really think about it, like the side character, or not side characters, but the other main characters didn't really get like development to that extent, because there's just a lot more fights going on, and it also was animated better. That was also the case too. If there's one thing you can do to get people's attention, have well animated fights. If you have that, people are gonna look at it and be proud of it just based off of that alone. Okay, so. Like, if they were expecting Chainsaw Man to do something like that, that was the wrong thought process to have, because they're two completely different mangas that don't do anything similar. So that's a bad comparison if that's the case. Like that's terrible. Until those did not help. Chainsaw Man didn't truly get amazing until Manga. That's what I'm saying, right? I'm like, until Rize comes, I don't think it's gonna get to that level. And even then, I don't know if it is at this point, because the manga, like he's dropping the ball in the manga. Like, even though I enjoy it, I know that this is not on the same level as what part 1 was, and how part 2 is like evolving right now. It's taking far too long to get to the point where we need to get to, and it's not as interesting as you would want to read this on a week-to-week basis. Is the thing here, as opposed to how it was back then. He had things more structured. When things really went on and went going, things really went on and things were really going. Like, this has yet to really completely, truly start. Like, if you really think about it, Falling Devil was like the only arc that really had a pretty, like a stronger start to like what was actually kind of going on a little bit. Before this, it was always just, it was still like a kind of like a stop and go thing. If you really think about how this whole part 2 has been going thus far, there's a lot of stopping and going. There's not something that's keeping the train on the track the entire time. So, like, criticizing it, there is an issue with it. The CGI was a problem for Japanese too. I mean, people in general had a problem with the CGI, and if I'm being honest, again, because I'm an honest man, the CG isn't the best. Okay, the first episode gave me that idea that the CG was like okay at times. Now there are moments where it is good, but it is very jarring, because when you have Katana Man versus freaking Chainsaw Man in the first part, it's obvious stupid CGI. It didn't look terrible, but it's like, come on now, you know what we're looking at, and it doesn't really blend well with the 2D when 2D is involved. You know what I mean? So luckily enough, all of it was CG, so it never was too jarring, but they do have its moments where it's just like, I say it's not the worst CG, but it's not the best either, okay? CG in general has been kind of like on and off lately when it comes to anime, and I don't know why, because like I said, Demon Slayer right now has been really weird with it. I don't know what's going on, and they usually are pretty good, and I don't know why they're not. Yuka arc was great, Okura arc was fantastic, Fallen Devil was good, Church was very mixed. Honestly, Church arc is not that good. Like, if I'm being completely honest with you, it hasn't lived up to not even the expectation. It just hasn't lived up to what the arcs could even be. Like, you can tell it's kind of dragging for no reason. I take would JJK be as popular without Gojo? Actually, no. I'll be honest with you. I'm a Gojo fan. I am. He's part of the reason why I like the show as much as I do in the first place. Because if you really think about it, who the heck in there? In the show, especially in the first part of it, who are we really liking in this series like that? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Obara wasn't bad or anything like that, but it's like, I feel like because it's again in season 2 things started popping up a little bit more, but like none of the characters were like striking like that. But I'm just saying, like, when it comes to Gojo is that guy. He is him, and he's part of the reason why people love the series as much as they do. I have to admit that we got to give this guy props. And he did a good job at creating a character that is this beloved in the first place. True, Toto's good. Toto's good. You're right. I forgot about it. What am I talking about? Toto is goated, actually. Yeah, you're right. But Toto doesn't come until later within season 1. So, you know, give or take, that's a later time. All right. Weirdly enough, I don't know. Nanami was okay. I don't know. I didn't like him until funny enough, within the next seasons when I started liking Nanami a bit more. I don't know, he's not the most striking guy that's gonna be like, yeah, there we go. I don't know. gonna be as popular without Gojo because Yuji isn't the most compelling MC. No, Yuji is very simple, and I'm hoping as the manga has been going on, he's been getting more development within his own character to make him better. Because him just having hands is not enough, especially considering what he's fighting against in the series. Like this crap's crazy. So I don't know. Yuji is a very interesting case where he can't carry the series as a main character. He legit can't carry the series, actually, and that's weird to say, actually. Like, now I'm thinking about it, you know how we used to have fillers in anime and stuff, and you know, like, you always have to have the main character there and yada yada. Like Naruto can carry an episode or two, or a whole arc for that matter, right? Same thing with Luffy. Same thing with even Ichigo Kurosaki. I don't think Yuji could actually do that. I feel like you would get bored at one point with him trying to carry like a whole arc. I don't think he could do that. That's what's so weird about JJK in the first place. I never liked anyone but Gojo in season 1. Then I watched the movie and Yuta surpassed Gojo for me. Really? Interesting, Lloyd. Huh. I mean, Yuta's not bad. I don't know. That's a very interesting take. Does everybody else feel that way? Because I'm kind of curious now. Yuji gets really good. I hope so. I'm looking for that. Yuta's great, but he doesn't do anything for a very long. I mean, I expect as much. He shouldn't be the guy that's like taking on everything, but we'll see. Like I'm anime only, so I don't read the manga, so I don't know what's going on. But I like to keep it that way until the anime catches up, because the anime adaptation is really good. So yeah, overall, I feel like at the end of the day, Chainsaw Man has issues, and they're very glaring issues, mind you, but they're issues that can be fixed pretty quickly if Fujimoto starts to care a bit more about what he's producing and pushing out on the weekly basis for his chapters, because I feel like he can easily do more. Excuse me, just like I was just explaining when it comes to how he was just paneling his manga. He could have paneled all this stuff within this chapter, and it'll only be half of the chapter. I feel like he could have just done, this could have only been half of the chapter, and then the other half can be what the next chapter is going to be about. And that would have been a more fulfilling chapter and something that's more interesting to actually read on. You know what I mean? We're at a point, too, within part 2, that something needs to happen. Like, we should have gotten to the point where things are really starting to, to really go down, and not all the stopping and going. You should be at a point where we should get some revelations and other things of that matter, but we're not really getting much. So, like, he needs to get it together, and I'm hoping maybe Fujimoto's in here. And if you are, it's all about your pacing. Pace this thing up a little bit better. You look, you'll go far here. You'll go far. Maki's really good too, which is true, but Maki only gets good like way later on. I've been hearing like there's a certain part with her where she gets really good, so I have to wait. I love emotional connection. The dynamic between Yuta and Rika was captivating for me. I'm a lover boy. Okay, interesting. All right. I never had that full connection with Yuta like that. Maybe is what it is. I mean, maybe it's also because people keep hyping him up, so maybe I have certain perspective on him now. Is why maybe I feel the way I feel. I don't know. I try not to let that stuff like influence me, but maybe that's part of what it is. I just know I like freaking Gojo. All right. He's like, nah, I'd win, bro. He's a GOAT. All right, serious when she gets good. Yeah, I figured as much. Like, I'm expecting her to be in that position where she's gonna start showcasing what she really got. I know a little of something what's been going on with her, so I'm just looking forward to it. Also, I keep seeing like cosplays of Maki and what she looks like now. Basically, you know, it's kind of hard to avoid. So, yeah. Okay, is that most characters get good after many chapters? Yeah, it takes a while, but I mean. It's weirdly enough, that's why JJK is an interesting case for me, because I guess is the show more like story driven, or because it's not really character driven in that sense, right? Because the characters are not really driving what keeps it popular in a sense, right? So I feel like there's levels to what they're doing, and JJK is an interesting case of how they kind of got things structured, but it works. It does work. I will say, and also again, the fight scenes are great. I mean, that's one of the things you can always take away from this. I do wonder how popular this would have been if they had a different studio animating this. Honestly, but that's a question for another time. All right, that is something we can actually have a discussion on over on twitch.tv/Thabreakmaster, because we will be streaming over there later. So if you want to talk more anime discussion stuff like this, definitely go over there, because I got a lot of takes and a lot of things I want to talk about. I actually ran into a take not that long ago about Hiruzen again. the third Hokage. But I'll keep that for later. I'll keep that for later, all right? That's what I'm saying. It seems like it's more story driven, right? I like to think so, because the characters are not what keeps us interested, which is interesting to see. It reminds me of Attack on Titan in that sense. Attack on Titan's always been more story driven than it is character driven, which is part of the reason why it's funny when I was hearing like people's complaints about season 1 of Attack on Titan. Season 1 of Attack on Titan, people had complaints that there was not enough development for the characters. And when we finally started developing the characters, funny enough, people started complaining that there was enough fighting. So it's just like, you kind of can't win, but I digress. The characters are only used to drive the story and very little reference. Yeah. I figured as much. That's what I was thinking. But again, I only seen 2 seasons, so it's hard for me to really make that assumption just yet. But it felt like that's what we're doing when it comes to the show here, I will say. Chainsaw Man is very character driven, but this is part of the reason why it is very important that he does a really good job at developing all his characters, because he really needs to make sure that his characters are on point here, because Denji is something that drives the story quite a bit. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, given what I've been hearing about some of the stuff that's been going on, like, you can't have too many attachments to any of the characters. But I'll leave it at that. It's like, I don't know too much, and I don't even want to spoil myself. I don't know if I'm saying anything. But all right. Like I said, I give this a 6 out of 10 for Chainsaw Man. Let me get out of here. We talked about a whole other like discussion at this point. That's what I'm saying. That's what's kind of bad about this whole chapter here. I have to admit that there wasn't enough to it, and it really could have been more than what it is. I don't want to give it a 5 necessarily, but a 6 I feel like at least is somewhat appropriate, because it's not the worst chapter, but it ain't that great either. So what would y'all rate it in the comments below? For those that are still watching and still watch this entire thing, I'll be shocked, because we're not even talking about Chainsaw Man anymore. So I appreciate y'all for even coming in here and even sticking around as long as you have. If this is in video form, you watched all of this, so definitely give this a like to help out the algorithm, get more people up in here, have more discussions about Chainsaw Man and maybe other various topics as we go on within the stream, because we talk about anything apparently. All right, it still pertained to Chainsaw Man, but it went into other conversations, you know. But I digress. Make sure you like this, because it helps with the algorithm. Also, leave a comment. Tell me what your thoughts are. Am I tripping how I feel about Chainsaw Man? I'm hoping I'm not, but I like to know everybody's opinions on this, okay? All right. I will see you guys in the next one. Remember, 4 hours or like 3 hours from now, actually, we'll be over on twitch.tv/Thabreakmaster streaming. So Kagurabachi is going to be next. All right. Break out the wire! Yeah.